Hey there, I'm Alan Firstenberg,
Hi, I'm Margaret Maynard-Reid,
and welcome to Two Voice Devs.
Two Voice Devs.
Margaret, great to have you as a guest host on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
This is your first time as a guest host. It is great to have you here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are now?
Sure. I work at the intersection of AI, art, and design. And for the past few years, I have been studying art and design, mostly at the Parsons School of Design. I have
Wow.
also taught at University of Washington Foster School of Business during AI. So, like I said, I work at the intersection of AI art and design. I'm
Excellent.
also a developer. I've been a developer for a long time. I have been a Google developer expert since 2018. So, um, you know, being a developer for a while and create a lot of content for Google technology.
So how did these two paths kind of converge for you? And when you say design, you mean physical world design, right?
I'm actually into all things design in
Okay.
terms of design, like UI, UX design, graphics design. But in particular, it's actually fashion design. So I have been studying fashion design. Actually, right now I am in Paris, Parsons, Paris, right now for summer school for fashion safari right now.
That's fantastic. And I'm so jealous that you're in Paris, but very much appreciate that you took the time to be able to connect with us to do this. Um, how did these two? So I guess it goes back to how did these two worlds kind of come together for you? The developer world and the design and fashion world. How did they come together for you?
Uh, how does it come together? I actually think I'm at a very good place right now, being a developer, playing with the latest J media models, and at the same time as a designer, understanding the fundamentals of, art and design. It actually helps me create, I would say, better images and videos than others who, I mean, people have access to these models either through a consumer app or as a developer, you can use the API to develop applications, right? But I think lacking that knowledge, I can tell sometimes the images and videos people generate are just not that great.
You've been looking at my videos recently, clearly. Um, Now, and that's exactly why I wanted us to have this chat because recently at I/O, Google released their Gemini Omni video model, and then recently, you and I were among the group that had access to this model via the API.
Yep.
So I kind of wanted to talk about what your experience is working with Gemini Omni and working with the API have been like, and kind of just, advice that you have for other developers slash designers that were looking to use the model. So, how have you used Omni?
Um, Actually, before I talk about Omni, I'm gonna just talk about VO for a quick moment,
Okay.
just to set a bit of a context. I was one of the very first person to test actually VO a couple years ago as part of the creatives to test, and then later on, I was also one of the earliest group of developers actually test the API. And VO is great for generating video, like high fidelity video with great motion and also with music, right? So your question is on the Gemini uh, Omni actually Flash for this particular model that we tested,
Yeah.
right? And Gemini is multimodal. And when we talk about that, we have been talking about the input to be the multimodal, right? And this is the first time that the Gemini model itself can actually create video, right? You input image and perhaps video and audio, and then we can output a video. And I think there are a lot of great features about Omni Flash, but the most powerful feature is the conversational editing.
Yes, I think that's one of the things that I know they were emphasizing a great deal, was that certainly past models, past video models like Veo and others, you could give it, image inputs, you can give it prompts with it, and it would generate a video. But this is really the first time that we're seeing a model where you can have a conversation with it to edit the video conversationally. I've seen assorted different demos of how people have done that. And let me put it this way. How are you using the feature in the stuff that you're developing?
hmm Yeah, sure. So yeah, the conversational editing part is like people saying it's the NanoBanana equivalent of video editing, right? You can
Yeah.
just, keep prompting and making changes. A lot of the videos I create are fashion related. For example, a model wearing the garment a dress or perhaps a dance because I also like to create videos with dance and
Hmm.
wearing a dress and dancing with the music. And one use case would be changing the dress color and the texture, the fabric, and can also change the background and still keep the consistency of um the video. You start with a video. I start with a video. I use text prompt to create a video in either with Veo, or you can do that with any video generation software or model, right? And
Hmm.
then there are certain things if I don't like, I can make changes with Omni Flash and still keep everything else the same. And then I can change how the garment looks or how the background looks or even how the person looks.
So how much of what you have going into the video are, I guess, what I would call component parts? So you say, here is the image of the model, and here is an image of the dress, and here
hmm
is the background. Put these together in a video. How much of
hmm
that sort of thing do you do?
Yeah, I can try putting things together. Actually, I would prefer to put together the look in the image first. I would prefer to compose that, what the person looks like, what the dress looks like, or perhaps some accessory, as well as the background. And then I will create a video with the motion and the music. And then I can start making changes. And I think, yes, you can also try to combine image together and motion and then create a video with Omni as well. So that's also another route.
So it sounds like what a lot of what you're doing is using NanoBanana to create that first frame and compose it using the first frame, and then having it take that first frame and expand it out to a video. Is that kind of what you do a lot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Either that or I can do it with the text. So if I go from text to video, I can go text to video or I can go image to video, then editing, or I can put multiple elements plus the text to create a video. All of them is possible, but I think my preference is still create that look, the visual, still visual, then create the motion,
So
then
so
edit.
so what do you use to create that still visual? Is that NanoBanana? Is that other software that you're using to create that composite, or how are you doing?
Yeah, Nano Banana. Uh, yes, Nano Banana. But we also have this new image generation uh, model that's also recently released, right? Um, that one it's fast for fast iteration. If I want to wait, what is the name of it again? There's so many names. I'm losing track of these.
I don't know which one you're talking about in
Sorry.
this
You
case.
don't know what I'm talking about. It was released on the exact same day. Hang
Oh,
on
that's
just a second.
NanoBanana 2 Pro
2
2.
Lite. Yeah, NanoBanana 2 Lite, which is Gemini 2.5 Flash. Anyway, sorry, I'm not keeping track of all the numbers.
I can't keep track.
Because because the Gemini is 2.5 Flash, but then it's NanoBanana 2 Lite. Anyway, I found the answer. Um, so that one is much faster, yet the quality is still pretty good for generating image. And also, I think it's not just for generating one still image. It's also good for creating a kind of a storyboard. You
Mhm.
create because right now the video is just what 10 seconds
10 seconds.
for editing. But if you generate a video with VO, it's 8 seconds. Anyway, it's very short, right? One way is to extend the video after at the end of the frame, or another way is to create the storyboard and every single still image, and you create video out of every image, and then put together as a story or kind of a short
I,
film.
I know one of the things that I've really liked doing is I will take, I will have captured an image that I like as a photograph.
Hmm.
And then I'll use NanoBanana to change that image in some way that I wanted to.
Hmm.
And then I will prompt one of the NanoBananas. I don't remember what I use. Um,
Okay. Yep.
I can't keep track of them, I'll be honest. Um, and then I will have Omni say, here's the first frame, here's the last frame, here's what I
Hmm.
want to happen in between, and have it do that animation.
Yep.
So that's something I very much enjoy. Yeah, I do that a lot for a lot of the
Hmm.
videos that I create.
Yep.
And you know, one of the things that I enjoy is that that's something that is easy to set up and do using a program. And that's not we don't have the software that seems to already be pre-built that does a lot of that. Are you finding the same sort of thing where you're needing to build the software yourself to do exactly what you wanted to do?
It's a bit of a combination of consumer product like Gemini app, and also Google Cloud has this Gem Media Studio, which might have got renamed to something. Maybe it's still called the Gem Media Studio. Gem Media Studio on Google, the Vertex AI. No, wait, it's not called the Vertex AI. I'm
It's
sorry, it's
it's now
called
called
something else.
the Gemini
Enterprise
agent platform.
Agent Platform. Okay.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm pretty good at keeping track of it, but it's changing faster than I
There's
can
so much
remember.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. You go to the platform, the Google Cloud platform. It also has some UI there. And so I use consumer products, Google Cloud's UI, and I write my own code, my own program that I've written or things I'm creating.
So tell us a little bit about some of what you've done in your own software.
Well, I have done quite a lot of open source one. Like if you go to like Margaret MC .me, which is my website, you will also see my open source project. And so I'm gonna kind of go talk about most recent, and then to talk about the earlier one. I worked on quite a bit. The One of the most recent one, actually, I worked with Jason Davenport. We have not released our tutorial yet. We worked on some fashion AI software using Antigravity, and we actually it's Antigravity 2 now. But we'll give a talk end of July and talk about our project. That one. So that way it's, anti-gravity and NanoBanana Pro, NanoBanana, and Fashion. And then before that, I collaborated with Sayaka and Chansong, two other GDEs. One is based in India, another one is based in uh, Korea, and on the fashion mood board. What a fashion mood board is in any kind of design, whether it's UI UX design, uh, graphic design, or fashion design, there's a early research stage where you kind of collect these different images, you put it together, you find that theme that you're trying to work towards, and also a color palette. So the project we worked on is fashion mood board. It's to use the AI, Google's AI, to help create mood board. And then before that, last year, there was two other projects that I want to mention. Another one was with Henry. We create a agentic kind of platform and also Metropolitan Museum of Data to kind of automate the entire fashion
Yes.
design process, from generating an image to actually at the beginning was kind of inspiration, which comes in our example, that comes from the Metropolitan Museum of Art data, and then generate an image and then generate a video. And then one more project that I mentioned was with knitting from India. That was back in Gemini 2.0 Flash. Yeah, that was the first time Gemini was actually able to create images. It was like felt like a long time ago, but it was early last year. The images are not that great, but anyway, it was a great project. That what we did was create a sketch, convert that sketch to an image, and then create a video with view.
Hmm.
So quite
All
a
right.
lot of project that I
A lot
worked
of
on.
project that, and all of
Yeah.
these can be found linked from your website.
Yes, these are all open source. I mean, except the one with Jason, we will release it soon. But the other three with the one with Sayaka and Chinson, and then the one with Henry, and then the other one with Nitin can all be found on my
Okay.
website, which
We'll
you can find
we'll
from my
include a link
GitHub.
to we'll include a link to that on the show notes.
Mhm.
Any tips that you want to make sure that people who are developing with Omni or developing for Omni, or either building their own or just designing stuff that they're using with the studio, any tips that you want to make sure get passed along that people think about?
Um, Let me think about the tip. Okay, maybe I'll give two tips. Like one is technical and one is non-technical. On the technical side, I will say make sure whatever model that you're using is suitable fitting for the use case. Right. When I say that, I mean if you don't need a model to create very high quality, like you're prototyping, exploring phase, you can just use a lower quality and higher speed model,
Hmm.
right? And then for some other use case, you really need that high fidelity, then you can use that. So perhaps when you build the app, think about how you can give your user, because when you build the app, you can think about your target audience of the app, right? So give your user that uh, flexibility to choose like which model. Either let them choose or build it intelligently so that you can switch. Like, at what task are you trying to perform, right? Or if you build a agentic platform, you can use a built-in for that agent should also be smart enough to decide which model to actually use. Um, so that's on that, and also make sure like sometimes you try to write your code and your app, and all of a sudden the model doesn't work or the name doesn't work because of the launch. Sometimes it's a early access and change it to a preview and then change it to a regular one, right? Sometimes if you use like Antigravity or some AI coding tool, the tool may not be smart enough to catch up with
They
that part
get
yet.
they
As
like
a
going with
human,
old
you still
models.
need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a developer, you still need to have some knowledge of like what is going on. So that's on the technical part. On the non-technical part, I will say it's great for us to build sample code and tutorial to teach other developers. But even for me, even a very tiny toy example that I put together, I always think about what is the business problem that I'm actually solving. Even if it's the tiniest, like simplest toy example. I never want to write a tutorial just for the sake of tutorial of this is how you call the API. And
I think it's great. One of the things that always bugs me a lot when we sometimes when we talk about some of this is we just
mhm,
say, the technology is cool and that's why we use it.
yeah,
And I don't think that's true. I think the technology serves a purpose,
yeah,
and you can agree or disagree with that purpose, but it's got to be doing something that's real. And I
yeah,
think, and I think sometimes it's hard to say why video, Gen Media video serves a real purpose, but I think it does. So it's been great having you on to talk about what that real purpose is. So thank you so much. For folks that want to get a hold of you or follow your work, where's the best place they can find you?
I think it depends on who you are. If you are a developer, uh, GitHub is the best place. And if you are a creative or a creator, Instagram or YouTube is better.
Okay.
But in general, as I mentioned earlier, I think my website should also have all the different ways of getting in touch with me.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for being on.
You're welcome. It's been fun talking to you, Ellen.
So I hope folks feel free to find Margaret. Don't forget to leave comments here below and like, subscribe, and share. And I hope you'll join us again another time on Two Voice Devs.
Two voice devs.